Good morning and welcome to Puck Time for Thursday, January 30th, right here on WagerTalk TV. Myself, Andrew McGinnis, Carmine Bianco, and Bryan Leonard here with us to break down a handful of games, props, sides, totals, and much more. Guys, before we jump into the show today, we have a very, very sad thing to mention, some sad news in the hockey world, as we have lost a great one, and that is Sean Simpson, mostly known for covering the Ottawa Senators, but he covered a lot more than that across the National Hockey League. And here on Puck Time and WagerTalk, we want to just send our condolences out to his loved ones, friends, family, colleagues, everybody that knew him, because everything that I saw from him seemed like he was a great guy and loved by all of his colleagues. So it is very, very tragic. And I think it's just another reminder, an unfortunate reminder that if you are going through something, if you're going through tough times, it is okay to talk to people. Your friends, family, people are there for you. And the three of us here on Puck Time, we're there for you as well. Our DMs are open. And it is very, very sad to wake up to see the news and the loss of Sean Simpson. So I just wanted to mention that here on the show. We are a hockey betting show. We are hockey fans. And most importantly, we care about all the people that we interact with and that we see, whether it's on X, whether it's in person, whether it's in the YouTube live chat with all of you guys. So I just wanted to mention that to start the show off. Carm, good morning to you, man.
Morning, Andrew. Yeah, up here north of the border, we have that Bell Let's Talk as well too. Every year, however you feel about Bell, it's more the message than anything else. And Andrew, we're covering a lot of stuff hockey wise, but like world wise, you know what I mean? Like I would be remiss if I didn't mention, like our thoughts are with those that lost loved ones yesterday as well too, in Washington in that tragedy. So, obviously, sports sometimes takes us out of what is happening in the real world, and gives us that. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for here is, but it gives us an escape, if nothing else, from everything else that goes on in life, which may not be great at times. So, and you said it correctly. You know what I mean? Reach out to us if you guys want to talk hockey or whatever. We're always around for you guys. If we're there, we'll get back to you. We're going to cover the Washington Capitals, the Ottawa Senators today. The Anaheim Ducks, the suddenly hot Anaheim Ducks, who are scoring goals against the Calgary Flames. And then we're going to finish it off. Bryan Leonard's on the show. So we are talking the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm just surprised Bryan Leonard is not wearing a Vegas Golden Knights jersey or a top or something like that, as they take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Somewhere in between, we'll do Andrew's prop playlist where he's going to give us some winners. And then we'll try and close it off with a couple show free plays, 2 or 3 free plays that will hopefully lead you in the right direction to cashing some tickets tonight. Bryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I just want to get back to the thoughts on what the situation is around the world right now, and a lot of negativity out there. We're in a business where there's a lot of highs and lows. And when you're winning, everything's great. And unfortunately, it's not always that way. And you start to question yourself. Money comes into the situation. Want to make sure that you don't, overbet your plays, and pay more attention to the people around you. I just read the local newspaper here in Vegas. We had a local music star that just committed suicide. So it's something that is shocking, and you think all these people have got the world figured out. It happens to everybody. We've all gone through it. We've all had depression issues. We're all here for you. Seriously. There's not enough people around that you could talk to. You can always talk to any of us if you're having any problems. We've all been through it. And Andrew's a young guy, but Carmine and I have spent many years having to deal with it. And Carmine, from a personal standpoint, has had to deal with coming back from some tragedies. So, yeah, we've all been there. Stick to it. Things will get better.
Yeah, and we're going to give you guys that outlet, and we're going to talk sports, and we're going to have some fun talking sports. We're going to take some jabs at each other, but we always know it's in a good fun. Even if when it's me yelling at Don Buster, who will return next week. Somehow I expected Buster to interrupt me today, even though he's not on the show. But maybe he's in the live chat. Who knows? Buster, if you're out there, type X to let us know that you are in the chat. Buster's north of the border. Who leaves a sunny place like Mexico and the beaches to come north of the border where we have snow? I'm looking out into the vast beyond through my doors there, and all I see is snow, Andrew. We're used to it. Brian, you used to be used to it, but you are now living in Vegas where you guys get no snow. So kudos to you. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Ottawa, Washington, minus 110 both ways as of showtime, 11 a.m. Eastern time, Brian. The total sits here at 5.5. Every game on the board yesterday went under the total yesterday. A low-scoring night of NHL hockey. And I've got something to talk about after this game with regards to that. But how are you breaking this one down?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of games go under as of late. A lot of teams are either picking up the defense or the offense is getting tired. But speaking about defense, what an amazing run for these Capitals. Over the last 10 games, they've permitted just 11 total goals. That is just amazing to me. And they've been that way all year long. They've been so good. These two met 2 weeks ago, and it took overtime before either of these teams scored. Final contest of a 5-game road trip here for the Capitals. Had the Capitals in the last game. I believe they went 4-1. That was a big play for us. Ottawa is on their own streak of excellent defense. In their last 10 games, they've permitted just 18 goals. And if you take away the 2 games in which they gave up 5, that's 8 goals and 8 contests there for Ottawa. And so they're playing very well defensively also. They're in the midst of a 4-game homestand, have had the last 3 days off, so they're very healthy here. When they're coming in with a lot of rest, I expect the defenses to perform very well. I'm first looking at defense anytime Washington plays. The only problem is in this one, we're having the lines at 5.5, which is fine, but we got to lay 130. In this case, I still like it. I like the under in this game. Both teams know that they've had success in low-scoring games. There's no reason to try to change anything. As I mentioned, the last time they met, it went as a real defensive struggle. I expect more of that here. I like the under in this game tonight, and I'm willing to lay that 130 here to get the under 5.5.
You know, Bri, I feel the same way with you. And you look at a couple numbers which really come to the forefront for these teams in liking the under, and that's why it's obviously at 5.5. It should be at 5.5. You could almost make a case, Andrew, for this being a 5. Listen to these numbers for these two teams, their last 10 games each. The Washington Capitals, 10-0 to the under, their last 10 games. The Ottawa Senators, the next best team, 9-1 to the under. Those are numbers of teams that are playing extremely well defensively, and even in games in which they're losing defensive battles. So I don't know how you could take an over in this game. You could say to yourself, "Hey, self, yesterday all the games went under the total. Why don't I take today's games to go over in a little bit of a zigzag?" But you can't get me on the over. You know, this game could finish 5-3. And it would be a shock to me. These are two teams that are playing well defensively, two teams that are picking up points, and they're picking up points because they play well defensively as well too. Andrew, I'm with Brian on this one. The under. Are you going to go mano a mano with the two of us, or are you going in a completely different direction?
Well, Carm, the only question I have is why the goaltenders are a little bit confusing to me here. We're seeing Forsberg projected for the Senators. Lindgren probable is the word I'm seeing being floated around there for the Washington Capitals. So, Forsberg's been good as well. I would like to have Merrill in there, but both of those guys have been good. The good news is for the Senators, Allmark is on his way back. It sounds like his return is going to be even sooner than people would have thought it would be. So getting their starting goaltender back after they've had some good goaltending in his absence will be phenomenal for them, because they struggled defensively and goaltending wise for like the first 3 or 4 games when Allmark was out. And then, as you mentioned, the goaltending and defense has been top notch. It's been fantastic. But I think that right now, you just have to look at the rest angle. You have to look at the rest angle, and especially if Logan Thompson isn't the goalie for the Capitals tonight, sign me up for the Ottawa Senators, guys, because don't look now. This team went from being a team that was struggling to make the playoffs for the past few years. They couldn't even make that final wild card spot. People were saying their rebuild has been going on for 8 years. Well, they're only 6 or 7 points back from not just being second in the division, being at the top of the division. They're not even in one of these, first or second wild card spots anymore. They're in the 3rd spot in the division, and they're very close to getting to that 2nd and 3rd spot if they continue, or 2nd and 1st spot if they continue this momentum. We might not think this Ottawa Senators team is that great, but if you look at this roster right now, they think they're pretty great right now, and they're making some moves. And I would argue that in football, we give 2.5, 3 points for home field advantage. It's going down a little bit, of course. What's the number here if this is the Capitals playing at home? Because I think the Ottawa Senators here are giving us a really good price. I like this number for the well-rested team, the team playing some shutdown defense. And I also really like the fact that we saw a couple of their key players get back on track scoring-wise lately. It was kind of funny. They posted a few graphics on the screen when I watched the last Ottawa Senators game, talking about it's been 7 games since this guy scored. It's been 6 games since that guy scored. And guess what? Both of those guys scored in that game. I have confidence in this Ottawa Senators team right now, and I actually trust their depth more right now than I do the Capitals' depth. So, I think, look, it's fair to say that I haven't given the Capitals enough credit. Their last game, I did say, hey, we're getting a great price. We got to take a shot with this team. But I think right now, this Senators team, they're the play for us tonight. And I give a lot of credit to their goaltenders, because not just one, but it's been all their goaltenders have really stepped up in the absence of Linus Ullmark. But Ottawa Senators for me, Carm.
Now, Andrew, to your point of Forsberg, and he is, I'm seeing he is confirmed for tonight. But you look at his last 6 starts, because I wasn't a big sorry, not Allmark. I wasn't a big Forsberg fan earlier in the year, but look at his last 6 starts, and these are the score lines: 2-1, 2-0, 5-0 against the Rangers. But it was the other goalie who had started, and then Forsberg came in, so he wasn't given the loss in that 5-0 game. 2-1, 4-0, 3-2, and 4-0. Again, every game under the total that he has been in his last 5 starts, and one in or last 6 starts, and then 1 start in relief as well too. 7 games, the last 7 games he's involved in have all stayed under the total. So take that for what it is tonight. But I think the way the Sens are playing right now, the goalie just has to be competent, and it gives them a chance to win the game or be in the game. Speaking of being in the game, Brian, the Anaheim Ducks, where have they found these goals from? What are they on? Like 16 goals, I think, in the last 3 games. Plus 150 in Calgary. Calgary minus 180 tonight. The totals here sits at 6. 20 cents shaded to the under. Are the Ducks a live dog tonight? Ducks and Dogs. That should be the name of a show.
I will take the Dogs over the Ducks. Over the last month, The Ducks have the third worst expected goal share in 5-on-5 action, just 41.55. So we think, same old Anaheim. But if you take a look at their schedule, they're 6-8 on the in the month of January. They've played an extremely tough schedule. Games against Winnipeg, Edmonton, Tampa Bay twice. And although Tampa Bay is struggling right now, we all know this is a very good hockey team. Carolina, Washington, Florida twice, and a talented Nashville team who was finally living up to some expectations. So even though their month-to-date numbers look like they're not doing very well, they have actually played a real tough schedule. And a lot of times a lot of people not paying attention can't see that improvement. But I see it here with Anaheim. They are playing much better than they were earlier in the season. And despite being divisional rivals, it's just a second meeting of the season between these two. Calgary is 6-6 this month, off back-to-back losses to Winnipeg and Washington, two of the best defenses in the league. So with both teams stepping down in defensive class here, I can see this contest going over the total. You said yesterday that none of the games went over. This is a game that I think is going over the total here between the two, just based on the way these two have played and the schedules that they've just faced. I look for this game to surpass the total on this contest.
I don't usually see you with
Andrew,
some total plays.
I'm going to say this.
Yeah,
like
especially
that.
overs.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it. Andrew, I'm going to make mine quick, and I will make mine real quick. I think I kiboshed. We talk about like mushes, like the announcers in football with the field goal attempts. I talked about that the other day. I talked about Dustin Wolf at home and how he was like 10-0-1 or something like that. He's now 12-3-1. He's lost like 3 of his last 5 on home ice. I just think this Ducks team is having fun right now. They're having fun. They're scoring goals, and sometimes that's contagious. Plus 150. I feel the same way as I did about the game yesterday with Vancouver going into Nashville as a dog, and I thought they were live at plus 125. They got the job done. I'm going to take the plus 150 with the Ducks to get the job done tonight. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are the exact same. I'm right there with you on this one. This Ducks team's playing extremely well right now. And the funny thing is, the one thing I would be worried about is their expected goals against numbers are still not very good. According to my numbers in January, they're the worst team as far as expected goals against. But guess what? In January, Calgary has the third worst expected goals for numbers. So, I mean, if you have a bad team defensively, but hey, they're playing a team that doesn't really create much offensively, I'm not too worried about it. And guys, I found an incredible stat that I had to mention and had to bring up if I can find it here really quick, because I thought this was pretty cool here. The Anaheim Ducks are 20-0-2 when scoring 3 or more goals on the season. 20-0-2. They are 1-23-4 when scoring 2 or fewer. This team scores 3 goals, they win a game. Like, that is crazy. So, you guys know sometimes I talk about these team totals, and you could take the Anaheim Ducks over 2.5. Forget about that. If they get 3 goals on the Flames, they're winning this game. And you know what? Based on the Flames right now, the inconsistencies of their defense, I think it really goes to show that they were heavily, and I mean heavily, relying on some goaltending early in the season. I know I say that about some teams, and trust me, coming from a Montreal Canadiens fan who grew up watching Carey Price, I know teams rely on goalies, all right? I know it's part of hockey. But I think the Flames with Dustin Wolf and some of their goaltending, they, got kept into games because of their goaltending, which certainly helped them out. So, yeah, I think there's value on the Ducks here in this one. Are they going to be able to keep it going this month for this long? I don't know. But I think there's value in this spot here. And you know what? I definitely could agree with Bryan there as far as the over is concerned. This could be one of those ones where we sit back and watch the goals pile in. When bad teams are feeling good about themselves, it's a good sign to bet the over. When they're not feeling good about themselves, they just can't seem to generate. But things are going well for this Ducks team right now. So I'll take that plus price. And Carm, any thoughts on that stat? I mean, this team scores 3 goals. They must be laughing at the intermission. They already got the win, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually I'm dying inside because you're making Brian and I both feel extremely old when you say I grew up watching Carey Price. Like, are you serious? I had already lost all my hair when Carey Price started playing in goal for the Montreal Canadiens. Like, come on, man. Uh, think. But yeah, no, it's a crazy stat. We'll see what happens tonight. Calgary's pretty good at home on home ice, as is Dustin Wolf. But it's like I said, we've seen some bad teams put together runs. I think San Jose last year go to the East Coast and start scoring goals out of nowhere, and they win like 5 of 6 games on the road or something like that. It's one of those things that sometimes it's contagious. Andrew, you got your props playlist, but before I go there, I got to mention yesterday. So in one or two of my chat groups on WhatsApp, which has a ton of Leaf fans in it, someone posts that Bet365 has a promo for last night. And I talk about these package deals and stuff from some of these books that I always think they're a trap. This one was bet a same game parlay in the Leafs game, and you get an extra $10 for every goal the Leafs score. So I'm seeing in the chat, these guys are like, yes, this is free money. 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1 Toronto. We're going to clean up. The Leafs didn't score their first goal of the game until the 47th minute of the game in a 3-1 loss to Minnesota. Those things are it's like the announcers thing there, the mush. Absolutely. I think Bet365 made money off of that one yesterday. And with that said, Andrew, give us some winners on your props playlist.
You gotta love that, Carm. I've got a buddy of mine that he bets all those boosts. Like he loves those boosts on Bet365, and he'll be complaining about why this guy hasn't scored a touchdown, or why this guy hasn't scored one more 3-pointer, or why this guy doesn't have one more shot on goal. And like you said, there's always one. If they do a parlay with those boosts, there's always one that will mess with you, and they just kind of put it in there and try and make sure you don't notice it. But that's the one that is tricky, and it's hard to get all those. But yeah, I got 2 props for us today, guys. Quick promo code that I actually received while I was live on the show here on Puck Time. I got a big play going tonight in the NHL, but I have a promo code for a week. This is only good for 2 days. Save 10. Save 10 is the promo code to take $10 off an NHL week pass. So if you guys want to get involved in all my plays, not just the big play tonight, but 1 week of NHL, you guys can take $10 off with the promo code SAVE10. All right, 2 player props for tonight. First one, it's a bit on the chalky side, but bear with me here. Mikko Rantanen, brand new to the team, new member of the Carolina Hurricanes, going to get a ton of ice time with this team, going to be out there on the power play, of course. Only minus 150 to record an assist. And I know when he played with Nathan MacKinnon, people know him to be a power forward, a shooter, shot first type of guy. But he has an assist in 5 of his last 7 games. He has an assist in 7 of his last 9 games against Chicago. And against Chicago, they rank 29th in goals against in the entire league. So when I look at things right now, and especially when a player joins a new team, guys, they don't want to look selfish. They want to look like a good sportsman. They want to look like somebody that can move the puck around and find your teammates. Minus 150 is a good bet to me because I actually think this price could be higher in some future games, but especially here against a bottom team like the Hawks, who have surprisingly played well lately, but they're going to be tough, to get going tonight against this Hurricanes team. So I think Rantanen will get an assist tonight, and we'll see the Hurricanes score a handful of goals against them. The second one is a nice plus price here. We're going to take Braden Point at plus 165. I am seeing some plus 170s out there, which is very nice, to score a goal tonight against the LA Kings. I believe we're getting such a good number here because, of course, the LA Kings are a pretty good defensive team. But this is a spot I like here with the Lightning off a game where they were shut out. This is a spot here where we should, they're off a game where they lost to the Hawks. They only scored 1 goal. They should bounce back in a big way. But Point has a goal in 5 straight home games. And I talk a lot about how for certain teams, home ice advantage matters. Certain teams, it does not matter. I think John Cooper is one of the best coaches in the league. So I think he manages the bench very well, manages his substitutions very well, and his shift changes very well, which is why I think Brayden Point gets the best matchups when playing at home. So plus 165. Let's go for a goal scorer today, guys, with Brayden Point of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Back to you, Carm.
Let's hope that Tampa gets it done today after burning a lot of people's, a lot of bettors' money last time out against the Chicago Blackhawks, who are, I think, that line was like minus 400 or something like that. Similar to what we're seeing with Carolina today, very high odds. Now, how can we not talk about Brian Leonard's on? You got to talk Vegas Golden Knights. Anytime I see him on the schedule, I don't care if they're playing the Silverhawks or whoever the affiliate is in the AHL for Vegas. You got to have Vegas on the card. Brian, Vegas minus 260, Columbus plus 210, total sits at 6.5. How are you breaking this one down?
It's actually the Silver Knights, and that's in Henderson. I used to live in Henderson. It's about 15 minutes south of the Strip. They also have a team now in Lake Tahoe. And if you've never been to Lake Tahoe in the summer, it's gorgeous. So if anybody wants to take a trip to Lake Tahoe to see this hockey team play, I'm in for it, man. Always like Lake Tahoe. Also, your Anaheim play, somebody likes the other side because you can now get 165 with Anaheim. It's now 164 at Pinnacle, 165 here in Vegas. Makes it even a better number for us all if you like that side. So, let's go Ducks. Columbus and Vegas, Blue Jackets have one of the biggest discrepancies on the season in their home road play. They're 17-8 at home, 7-18 on the road. Columbus has played well as late with a 7-2-1 mark the last 10 games. 6 of those meetings have been away from home. They've gone 3-3, so they're playing much better than they have all season long on the road. They're well rested. They've had the last 4 days off after outlasting Los Angeles at home in overtime. This is the first of 4 road games as they play Utah tomorrow, so it's the first of a back-to-back, and they will end the first half of the season or whatever until the tournament coming up next week very soon. You're looking at 5-on-5. This is what has amazed me out of the Golden Knights. You're looking at 5-on-5 expected goal share over the last month. You find them at 54.80. That's one of the best in hockey. The power play has been terrific. They had one of the best power plays for the entire month. Yes, it's been a bad 3-week period when it comes to wins and losses. They're 3-8, despite having really good offensive numbers. The defense and the goaltending has been what's been the core of the Golden Knights' success in the past, but it's been very weak as of late. Watched that game the other night, of course, against Dallas. It was a great spot, a quick revenge game. They were looking good the entire game. It fell apart in the third period, and that's usually the Golden Knights' best period. They're very good in the first and the third, struggle in the second. But it was just the opposite last time out. Second period, they dominated or did not play well in the first and third. During the last 11 games, Vegas has permitted 36 total goals. Not what they're known for. This is the final home game in the Fortress before the break. They head on the road for 4 games back east before the Nations Tournament, the Four Nations Tournament. I lean with this game going over because I think Columbus can probably get, I know they can get 2, maybe 3 goals here against Vegas, but the line is 6.5. We just talked about all these games going under. We've seen a lot of 5.5s. This has to get to 7 goals for the over. I think it will, but it's tough getting 7 goals in the NHL lately. And so that's my only concern here. But I think Vegas wins. I think it goes over. But the line is keeping me away from both sides here.
Brian, before I send it to Andrew here, I'm going to just complete the Vegas and the over and Mine's is it's just a numbers based or a stat based one. I mentioned it against the Dallas Stars, and it looked good in the third period until it didn't look good once Wyatt Johnston tied that game up. But it's the Vegas puck line. They have been the most profitable team this year on the puck line. They are 32-19 on the season, 18.6 units of profit. At home, they're 17-10, 12.35 units of profit, which is number one in the NHL on the puck line. And you got a Columbus team that are playing well or were playing well. They were scoring goals. And then they started to play a much more defensive game, and they've lost 3 of their last 4. Maybe that good run is done with them. I'm banking that it is as far as tonight goes. So I'm taking the Golden Knights on the puck line here, Andrew. Give me Vegas -1.5.
The -1.5 with the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, this is the thing about this Vegas Golden Knights team. I don't have the exact numbers here, but I know they're a good bounce back team, and I know they're not going to be happy about what happened. I'm going to be full transparency here. I have not had great numbers and track record this season with these first period plays, but I did hit one last time I gave one out, and it was Tampa. They hit the first period -0.5 goal, and then they lost the game 4-1 to Chicago. That was a pretty good feeling to hit the first period and then see them lose the game. Well, this is what I'm going to look at here for this one with Vegas. And this is what I think about when I think about these first period plays, guys. A lot of times I see people betting these first period puck lines. They're looking for some type of like +150, +160, like this huge cash plus price, right? Whenever these seem to come in, it's when you're actually laying minus money. Like today, it's -105. When I made this bet with Tampa Bay, it was -105 as well. This is a Vegas team I think should have won their last game. They didn't. They're playing a Columbus Blue Jackets team, one of the worst expected goals against teams. A lot of times, and I think Brian would probably agree with me here about this, and Carm hopefully as well, a lot of times this Vegas Golden Knights team is going to tell you in the first 20 minutes how the rest of their game is going to go. Like you can see it, and this has been their identity since they came to the NHL. And I'm not saying they can't be a team that comes back, but I'm saying that especially at home, when you see them start games out, they typically kind of show who they're going to be that night right from the first puck drop. So -105 on the win, draw, win line, puck line for the Vegas Golden Knights is a great way to get rid of the -260. The only caveat is we have to win in 20 minutes. But I like this one quite a bit. Hopefully Vegas gets the job done. And go Knights. I'm with you guys tonight on this one. Hopefully we can cash tickets on the Knights. Let's go around the horn to best bets and to promos. Carm, we'll go to you first since you made me some money yesterday with a big 5% winner. You just keep cashing these soccer tickets, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, that one win as planned. It was the final match day of the Champions League. They're now into the knockout stages. So the line moves are absolutely insane. Once the lineups get posted, it's similar to today, where I have a 5% play in the Europa League final match day as well too. And I've been watching the line changes since last night as news comes out, players missing, players injured, players suspended, players just resting, and the lines are just roller coaster. It's great for in-game betting as well too. So I've got a free play up at WagerTalk. You can get that by clicking on the WagerTalk free plays in Europa, and then a 5% play that's up, 3 plays up in the NHL as well too. My show play is going to be on a game we did not discuss today, and it is the Seattle Kraken and San Jose Sharks. Another one of those late games, 20 minutes, and I'm out of here kind of plays. First period over in this one. It's I believe -125 on this one. Seattle 8-2, their last 10 at home to the over first period. San Jose 7-3, 2 teams that are getting goals in the first period, whether they're contributing or allowing them. The first periods are going over the total with these 2 teams. And they've had a couple of high-scoring games this season in 2 prior meetings as well, too. So I'm going to go first period over on this one, and I'll send it over to Bryan to let us know what he has at Wager Talk and a show free play. And Bryan, just to let you know, I received a message. Someone is taking you up on going to Lake Tahoe. Prez would like to go to Lake Tahoe with you. He says, book a room. Just one king bed is enough. Hopefully you enjoy yourself and that trip with Prez. You may want to leave the cat at home.
A quick story, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. I went to spring training with Marco one time, and we were sharing a room, and I had, of course, asked for 2 beds. We get to the room, and there's only 1 bed. He's looking at me. He goes, "It's not that kind of vacation, buddy." You had mentioned my attire on today's show. This is the Reno Aces minor league team. Great ballpark up in Reno. And that's baseball. And baseball, we're about 10 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting. Number 1 in the NHL all-time in net profit. Number 1 in Major League Baseball all-time net profit. I know Tokyo Brandon is great in some of these other countries' baseball. He's from Japan, the Japan League, the Korean League, Mexican League. He's terrific in that. But Major League Baseball, that's been my success. Baseball, for some reason, it's the moneyline sports. I've done very well in hockey and baseball. I was all set to use the Montreal Canadiens, Andrew, as my best bet on today's show. Then it got hit right before I was about to give it out. It got moved up a little bit higher. I still think it's a very good play on tonight's card, but the line took me a little bit away from it. But so I'm going to use the one we started the show off with, the Washington-Ottawa game is my best bet on the show today. And if you want more analysis from that, just go back and watch what we talked about earlier. But 2 plays up in hockey today, 2 plays up in the NBA. Still looking at the college basketball card. A real strong card here for Thursday, and best of luck to everybody.
I love that play. Best of luck to you. It's going to take me a while to wash out of my brain the thought of you and Marco in a king-size bed. If you invite Prez along, it can become the famous Marco D'Angelo sandwich game with a lot of meat and some vegetables. I'm not going to let you know which one's which, but with that said,
now, that's something to keep in your mind for at the end of the show. Yeah, thank you.
I'll send it to Andrew for his best bet. Let us know what you have up at Wager Talk in your tremendous NHL run, Andrew, and close it out.
Wow, that is quite. You guys talk about aging yourself. You guys are aging me, giving me all these horrific moments here to end puck time. I've got a big play up in NHL today. Really looking forward to it. Got it up real late, but was just waiting on some information. Number 1 this year on 5% NHL plays at Wager Talk. Cash won on Tuesday night. Let's hope we can end the month off with another winner, but forget about the 5%, guys. Join me for a week of NHL plays. Use the promo code SAVE10. Very basic, hard to forget. SAVE10 takes $10 off a week of NHL. Because guess what? I'm not going to just have one play tonight in the NHL. I will have more than just one play. So with that SAVE10, you'll get all of my plays, not just the one play we have up for grabs. All right, best bet for me on the show. We're going to go Islanders, Philly, over the total here. This is a just perfect spot. I just love this spot here. You got one team off a game where they were shut out. You got the same team second half of a back-to-back. And you got the fact that the couple of games ago between these two teams, it was a low-scoring and dominant victory for the New York Islanders. When I talk about motivation and when I talk about desperation, we're going to see a ton of that from Philadelphia tonight. But we're also going to see them give up goals. I think this game goes over the total, over 5.5, Philly and New York. Let's cash these tickets, guys. And hopefully we have some more exciting games tonight than we did last night in the NHL. So Bryan, Carmine, myself, Andrew McGinnis, we appreciate you guys for being here with us on Puck Time. Enjoy the games. Best of luck. We'll see you tomorrow on Wager Talk TV.